Welcome back to Edgemont Elegance, everybody. It is Wednesday, July the 16th, and we are here to show you the exciting updates and progress that's been made on this site since we were last here. It's been about 3 weeks since I was here. I was away on vacation, and we just ran out of time last week to come by and shoot this location. Since we were last here, we passed all our mechanical inspections, so plumbing, electrical, we passed framing inspection. We have insulators on site in the house right now doing spray film installation, and we do that to the underside of our roof and to the exterior walls in the basement. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to show you that today because, well, they're in the middle of doing it and you really don't want to breathe that stuff in. So we'll come back later in the week or early next week and show you what that's all about. We have got our siding contractor here, and that is Coastal Exteriors. Adam's a great person to work with, and I highly recommend him and his team if you are considering redoing the outside of your home. Adam at Coastal Exteriors is a great person for you to consider for your project. Behind us here, they've got sidewall shingles going up, and they've got the strapping on the house for the cedar siding that's going to be going on. So why don't we take a moment today and just have a closer look at what's involved in applying these different types of siding. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so let's talk about how we prepare for horizontal siding, right? This is a pretty standard detail in Vancouver, but a lot of people aren't aware. So the first step is to get your through wall flashing on. And so this flashing is going to separate the cedar siding that we're putting here, which is going to be a horizontal beveled cedar siding, 4-inch reveal. And then we're going to be doing masonry down here. The first step, once you have got your through wall flashing on, is going to be coming through and installing this bug screen. And that goes in and it just kind of sits down, and then you do bug screen across the top as well. All right. Then we go and we install our strapping, and this is 1/2-inch pressure treated strapping. I'll tell you why that's here in a second. Once the strapping is on, then this gets folded up and secured and off to the races. Now, the reason why we're doing this and the reason why we have to put the strapping on is once we started adding poly to the inside of our homes, it was determined that there was not enough breathability of the entire wall assembly. So what this does is it allows for air movement behind the horizontal siding. Now, we use a different product, which I will grab a piece for you right now. Strapping is here so that air can move behind the siding and allow the wall to breathe. Now, this won't work for sidewall shingles, which is what we have across the upper floor of this home. So what goes behind the sidewall shingles and what we choose to use is this Keen rain screen. So this actually goes on like this, and then the shingles get attached through the Keen membrane. It's a hard plastic and it's a mesh, and so the air is able to move through here, and also any sort of latent moisture that might come through here. So it creates a capillary space for air and moisture to move through, right? So for sidewall shingles or masonry or something like that, this Keen rain screen is a great solution. But for horizontal siding, we just strap it, and that's that. So as we've talked a lot about in our videos and in our content, right, one of the things that is the most important for your home's energy efficiency is air tightness. Now, we have made the home airtight by applying some Siga tape to the sheathing and the concrete, so there's no movement of air underneath the bottom plate of the wall, right? So no air can get in this way. What about these penetrations in the wall here? Well, the only way to resolve that is to use an EPDM membrane, poke a hole in it, and pull the wire through to get a nice tight fit on those holes. And so this is where we get our air barrier. We don't do poly on the inside of our homes. I feel like poly is lazy. It's lazy craftsmanship, and it's destined for failure. So this detailing is the way to go. And if you want to argue with me on that, I will put you in touch with my buddy Murray Frank at Building It Right, and he will tell you you're wrong. And he's going to really tell you you're wrong. That one's for you, Murray. All right, let's move along. So in terms of things that I feel our clients pay us for is quality assurance and quality control, and making sure that we have our trade partners do the work the way that we want to have it done. So one of the elements that I noticed yesterday that I wasn't super thrilled about was this space on the leg of this piece of casing here. So we're just going to have our trade partner remove this piece and replace it and minimize any sort of gapping here. The use of caulking to make something look good is it's not for me. and it's certainly not for Sprucehill clients. When you're doing this for yourself, you always want to have some slope on your windowsill, right? We don't want to have our windowsills be flat. Otherwise, water is going to collect and pool on there. So your legs come down, and the sides of the windows are your legs. These come down, and they are beveled so that we don't have any sort of gappage back here like we do over there. And then if we look at the bottom of this skirt board, which is what this is here, you'll see that it's been dadoed out. And what that allows us to do is to slide the siding in behind there and make sure that we continue to have that positive lap, so we're preventing water from getting behind the siding. Obviously, we have the rain screen here as a worst case scenario, but we really want to keep any sort of water on the outside of the siding, not behind it. Going up, we have a really cool detail. I love this detail where we've come out an inch from the vertical leg, and then we've gone up at a 10-degree slope for the head trim piece. And I just think like it's just a really nice detail, and it adds a little bit more as opposed to just being, you know, a straight box picture frame. So I love this sort of stuff, and I think it looks great. I mean, obviously, if you're a modernist or contemporary type person, you won't like these details. And that's okay. We build those too. Like, I'm happy to build you the most modern home on the planet. But for my own personal preference, I really like these details. I think they look cool. In here, the team has been hard at work getting soffit done in here, and we're gonna be applying 1/2-inch paper face ply to the vertical areas here to finish off the inside. So this is gonna start really coming together and looking something special. It's a really nice space. I think, like as far as outdoor living spaces go, it's pretty awesome. These column bases, if memory serves me correct, they're gonna get clad in masonry. And these top pieces here are gonna get clad in paper face plywood as well. So really, really nice details going into this project. I was just walking by and I was noticing how much easier it is for trades to do their jobs in kind of different spaces. You know, back in the day, if we're working up on a scaffold like this, you'd have extension cords going left, right, and center. With the battery powered tools that we're able to use these days, like you don't need extension cords everywhere. You just have battery powered chop saws, battery powered table saws. I mean, let's be honest, the table saws don't last very long if you're ripping a lot of material. But I mean, that you have the ability to use battery powered tools for so much of the work that goes on is really, really cool. Let's just take a quick look and look at the craftsmanship that's going into this home. So we are doing mitered outside corners for the horizontal siding. This is almost a lost skill in this day and age in terms of having this kind of detail and craftsmanship in work, right? But this is looking super tight. You know, one of the things that we want to be looking for is, you know, seeing that the nails are not really grotesquely overdriven. These are all fairly flush. It just makes the finishing that much easier after the fact. You know, some of these deeper set nails will just need to get filled. And these nails, for you YouTube warriors out there, are going to be getting replicated with a thicker gauge nail. These are just in here temporary to get the boards on the wall, and then they're going to come back with a thicker gauge nail in the future. There's a ton of work that goes in and skill, which truthfully I've forgotten how to do. Like, once upon a time I knew how to do this stuff, but that's sadly not anymore. One of the most important things for you if you're going to be doing horizontal siding at your house though is making sure you use the correct thickness starter strip for your bottom course, right? Because if you look at the siding, bevel cedar siding is going to be flat on the back, and it's going to have a slope to the front of it, and then obviously it's flat on the bottom. So if this goes on the wall, your first course goes on the wall, it's going to be flat. But then the next course is going to be sticking out like this because it's going to be sitting on top of this course, right? So that's how it goes. So in order to make sure that you have a consistent look, what you need to do is put an appropriate thickness of starter strip behind your bottom course to push out the bottom of your bottom course so that you have the same slope on the bottom course of your siding. Very, very important. So we are standing outside of the front door where they're busy doing insulation inside. How does it smell, Kyle? Bad. Yeah, there is a strong odor in there. So much so that the people that are installing it actually have to wear full goggles that have air being pumped into them so that they're getting fresh air from outside, because the air inside while the project is being installed is so unhealthy for us to breathe, right? I suspect what Kyle's mostly smelling right now, and that's what I'm smelling, is the vapor barrier paint that's being applied to the ceiling insulation, which is the blue paint. The spray foam, when it initially goes in, that's half-pound insulation, is generally like a white or a beige color. And then we go ahead and we spray paint it with typically a teal colored vapor barrier paint. And that allows our building officials to know that the insulation has clearly had a layer of vapor barrier paint applied to it. Okay, so I'm gonna hold my breath and show you guys a very brief snippet of what's going on inside, because I got about 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds of breath in me. I'm a little fat and out of shape right now, but I'll just give you a taste of what's going on. I cannot wait to show you, once these guys are finished, what it's looking like inside. It is so cool. And that's a wrap on today's walkthrough, everybody. Listen, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and watch what we do. We're so proud of the work that we do, and we love sharing it. If you have any questions about what we do or how we do it, drop us a comment below. If you have a custom home or a renovation that you've been thinking about or considering, please reach out to us on our website or call us at the office and talk to one of our amazing team members. We'd love to learn more about what you're thinking about, your family, and what your needs are, and working with you to come up with a solution that is going to make you so happy. In the meantime, if you get any sort of value out of these videos, we sure would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to this channel. Subscribing doesn't cost you anything, it's just a click of a button, so sure would appreciate that. In the meantime, thanks for watching and stay awesome. Bye now.